10.
Blam 9.
8.
7.
6 shots.
5.
Quattro.
We are the three. Amigos. 2 more mother humpers.
One ring to rule them all.
Let's rock!
It is hot today. Hello out there. Yes, I'm broadcasting from my living room right now. It is 6 a.m. in the morning here in Japan, and it is midsummer heat. It's already about 90 degrees and a lot of humidity. Yay! So it's been a while, about 4 or 5 weeks since the last live stream. Just been a busy month, but we are now starting our summer spectacular. And first up is 1983's National Lampoon's Vacation. Yes, a classic that I hope you've seen. And we got William Shakespeare here in the chat. Thank you very much. He's pumping out a whole bunch of good stats here because, of course, this is the first of 4 movies in the Vacation series. We also have Euro Vacation, 1985, Christmas Vacation, 1989, and there's also Vegas Vacation, which I believe is in the mid-90s, maybe 96 or 97. Vacation, the first one here, is definitely my favorite, but it's followed close with Christmas Vacation. Those are the 2 classics. After that, we have Euro Vacation, which is interesting, but it definitely doesn't have quite the spark that Vacation and Christmas have. And then Vegas Vacation is kind of so-so, but maybe we'll get into that on a later date. Thank you very much, William Shakespeare. All right, so let's introduce Vacation the only way we know how to on this show. Yes, we're all going to have so much goddamn fun. We're going to need plastic surgery to move the goddamn smiles off our face. One of the best quotes in cinematic history. And also, according here, William Shakespeare says that the Euro film is the only one not released on 4K. That's kind of what I was suspecting. It's probably the least popular of the 4. But yes, they say because of lack of demand, but honestly, compared to what Hollywood's pumping out these days, how does that make it any different? At least Euro has Chevy Chase, and I was going to say this, it's also the younger Chevy Chase before he gets, a little bloated and stuff. And when he's still high on coke, we got the real Chevy Chase here. He's putting his full effort into it. Yes, so let's get into some of the nitty-gritty of Vacation itself. And I absolutely love these old film covers, like just beautiful. Like these days, film covers and posters have gotten so lazy. It's either like AI generated crap with like 17 fingers. You start looking in the background, you're like, those lines don't quite match, and that car kind of disappears into another car. Just absolute crap posters, or they're like the extreme minimalistic one character's face and maybe 2 shades of colors to the side. Nah, in the old days, we got these beautiful hand-painted posters, absolutely gorgeous, so much detail, so much heart, just so much fun. So yes, let's get into just, the quick details of National Lampoon's Vacation. So 1983 apparently is listed as an adventure film. And I actually don't have a problem with this. It is an adventure. It's the classic family cross-country adventure. 94% on Rotten Tomatoes. Finally, Rotten Tomatoes got something right. So nice to see that. 7.3 on IMDb. Actually, surprisingly a little low. I think this maybe would be more around the 7.8, 7.9 territory. Released July 29th, 1983. So 41 years ago, if you can believe that. That's just insane how fast time goes. Directed by the wonderful Harold Ramis, of course, of Ghostbusters fame, probably his most celebrated work. Absolutely wonderful comedian, wonderful director. And then, of course, written by John Hughes. So you got John Hughes and Harold Ramis teaming up with Chevy Chase as the star. So magic. You got the three kings there of 80s comedy. Just absolutely perfect. Budget $15 million, which I think was actually relatively high for a comedy at the time. Also starring Beverly D'Angelo, who is just the perfect counterpoint to Chevy Chase. They play off each other wonderfully, just fantastic chemistry. So just a great film. We got DJ Play Nice here. Nice to see you. Wee! Yes. We indeed. So yeah, this film pretty much from the get-go has everything going for it. And I cannot bring up the cast without talking about all the wonderful cameos as well. You have, of course, Aunt Edna. Hope I'm not mispronouncing this actress's name. Imogen Coca. And then, of course, you got Randy Quaid, Cousin Eddie. And it's kind of interesting how Cousin Eddie evolved to be the, I don't want to say heart of the series, but after, kind of Chevy Chase was out, he was kind of like the fallback. There's the famous Christmas Vacation Part 2, Eddie's Island Adventure, which is absolutely terrible. But I would say after Chevy Chase, he is the most beloved character in this film. Of course, Randy Quaid is insane now, unfortunately. He literally became Cousin Eddie. So there's life imitating art there. Then we have Anthony Michael Hall as Rusty Griswold, who is still my favorite Rusty. This has my favorite Rusty and my favorite Audrey. Dana Barron as Audrey, and she actually came back to play Audrey again in Cousin Eddie's Island Adventure. But let's just say it's not worth noting too much there. We have not Eddie Murphy. We have Brian Doyle Murray, Bill Murray's brother, working as the camp supervisor. Of course, he comes back in Christmas to play Clark's boss. So playing two different characters in the series there. Fantastic actor. Yes, I'm going to get to that DJ Play Nice. It has John Candy. My favorite comedian. And as a kid, I had every John Candy film on VHS. And his passing in 1994 was actually maybe one of the first deaths that really hit me hard. And I still miss the guy. Very proud to call him my own as Canadian. Oh, look, there we go. We got Mr. Cannoli Sasquatch. Yes, hello, sir, to you too. How can you not love this movie? This is the ultimate road trip film. There is no better. Yes, and thank you, William Shakespeare Spielberg. Vegas Vacation was 1997. Yes, that's what I thought, right there in the mid-90s. This was almost, at the time, it's funny because it's about 10 years? Maybe, no, only about 7 years after Christmas Vacation. But at the time, this was kind of felt as a kind of a late legacy sequel. How times have changed, where now sequels coming out 30 years after the fact are being made. Just to come out Rotten Tomatoes. Okay. I'm hanging on here. I'm hanging on the edge of my seat. We all want to know what this is about. William Shakespeare, you get back to us on what's coming next there. And Eddie Bracken as Roy Wally is fantastic. I love the Walt Disney feel in that. Then we have Eugene Levy as the car salesman. Another wonderful cameo. And there he is, John Candy, as the guard at Wally World. Just a fantastic cameo appearance there. And then we have Christy Brinkley, who's the girl in the Ferrari. And I think she was my first cinema crush. I absolutely loved her in this film. Absolutely gorgeous. Let's just say I have no qualms with Clark's interest in her in this film. But that being said, as I'm older now, my goodness, Clark, Beverly D'Angelo, holy cow, absolutely gorgeous, and a little Spitfire too, very cute. Here we are. All right. Since the Disney Equal debacle, reviews given some BS critiques, 90% score, and audience giving the well-known 40%, many folks no longer believe that critic score. Yes, I know. I'm one of them. You can't trust critic scores anymore. And actually, I feel you can't trust pretty much any scores these days. My little rule of thumb, unfortunately, critics hide this more, but for at least user scores, I remove all 10 out of 10s and all 1 or 0 out of 10s from the equation, because I feel those are either protest and support or protest against scores. The real scores are usually between 9 and 2. That's where you get the people that are maybe actually thinking about it more. All right. And so I was quoting the audience score of Rotten Tomatoes, which is 85%. And yes, I agree, it should go even harder. Yes. This is a rare, I'll say it, this is a rare, perfect film. It's a perfect comedy, a perfect adventure, according to Google. And I used to rewatch this movie every year. So my experience with this film is came out in 83. I'm born in 85. And my family, we had, VCRs pretty much since they came out. And we taped this off television. Probably around in like 88, 89. And that's when I was watching it. So we had a taped version. So this is the TV edit. And actually, this is pretty interesting. I grew up on the TV edit. And there's several lines. They seem, I wish I could watch the TV edit again. Obviously, in the last couple decades, I've only been watching the official version. Have it on DVD. That's I'm getting old now. I got to upgrade to Laserdisc one of these. Laserdisc. I got to upgrade to Blu-ray one of these days. It's early in the morning in Japan here, people. Okay, give me a break, all right? Yeah, and what's interesting is the TV edit. I'm not sure if some of them, I got to rewatch it because I want to see if they were like official alternate takes or just dubs. Because I know sometimes they actually did alternate takes for TV edits. So there's the part when he's driving in St. Louis in the hood. Yeah, of course it's pan and scan. Definitely TV edits are always, because they got to get that 4:3 ratio. But there's like completely alternate takes. So like there's the famous scene where Clark stops to ask directions to the pimp, and the pimp like just screams at him, like, I think it's like, fuck your mama. A little F-bomb there. But in the version I grew up with, he says, who do I look like? Christopher Columbo? So I was like, oh. And then when I finally saw like the actual R-rated version, I'm like, holy shit. He says something completely different here, but I kind of like the Christopher Columbo line. Because maybe that's just what I grew up with, but I think that's more playful and fun. Then there's when they're at cousin Eddie's house. Uncle Eddie's daughter says that Eddie says she's the best one at French kissing. But in the edit I grew up with, she says her science teacher says she's the best at French kissing. So apparently incest was a little too much for TV, but not criminal activity from your teacher. So that was another edit that was changed. And I think there's a couple more in there, a couple more swear words that were like swapped out with like more family-friendly swear words, similar to Spaceballs. Spaceballs has the famous scene where he says they're surrounded by assholes, but they changed that to morons in the TV edit, which also works. Is kind of fun. That wouldn't even break the skin at gunpoint on the roller coaster is my favorite Kenny line ever. Yes. Oh my goodness. Yes, TJ Flayheads, I know. I love that. It would. It could pierce the skin. It could get in there and it could cause a very bad infection. Classic scenes. Yes. Even just how John Candy walks out. Do. Sorry, folks. We're closed. The booth out front should have told you. Just wonderful, wonderful expressions. John Candy. So much fun. I can remember the TV edits being outtakes. Okay, yes. That must be what they were. Just outtakes, because like these weren't just dubbed. Like they actually say these lines. So they were definitely alternate takes, outtakes, and it's interesting though because actually, as I said, I actually prefer some of the alternate outtakes than the official R version. And of course, what's different, a big difference, is on the TV version, you don't see Beverly D'Angelo's boobs. Yes, Beverly D'Angelo. And so when first time I watched the real version, I was like, holy shit, we actually get to see her rack. And it's glorious. It's glorious. Oh, I do miss the casual boobs of the 80s. Just slap them on every movie, even the family friendly adventures. So let's just say my crush shifted from Christy Brinkley to her after I saw that scene, because you don't see Christy Brinkley's. No, you get a little tease in the pool where you can, maybe she's naked or maybe she's wearing like one of those like skin tight tops. We'll never know. I know it is a huge loss. We get to see Clark's chest. I guess that's something. So let's see here. Oh, I have to introduce today's Japanese word. So everyone get your thinking caps on. Today's Japanese word is... And how about that? As soon as I said we're going to learn something, 2 viewers dropped out. I'm watching you guys. So yes, summer vacation in Japanese is Natsu Yasumi. All right, now repeat after me. Natsu, summer, Yasumi, which can mean vacation or break. So Natsu Yasumi, summer vacation. And I am also finally currently in my summer vacation. It's summer vacation is short here in Japan. It's only about 5 weeks long compared to you lucky people in North America, or heck, I don't know. Maybe I have audience in Australia as well. I'll never know. I know I got a couple in Europe. Yes, that's funny. Change line 2. My teacher, best at kissing. That didn't age well either in Real Society, did it? No, it didn't. But you know what? It's still hilarious. And I say this as someone who is a teacher, which, of course, I would never do. But I can laugh at it because it's funny. Oh, let's get our ticker going again. My goodness. There we go. Yes. Also, I'm up to 726 subscribers. So last time I was on live was 5 weeks ago, and we were at 631. So almost 100 new subs. So I just want to say thank you very much to everyone about that. So now let's get into the nitty gritty. We got summer vacation. Yes. And there is Eugene Levy right there. This is one of my top 5 jokes in the whole movie. This film starts off super strong. The wrong car came in. I want my car back. It comes back flat as a pancake. And of course, we are also introduced into perhaps the key character of the film. We're introduced into the family truckster. Yes, there she is. That is an absolutely god awful, god awful vehicle. But how can you not love it? What's the Japanese phrase for my teacher kisses better? Oh my goodness. I'm not even going to share that one with you guys. Yes, that's right. Moving on. William Shakespeare hallway right now. You're out in the hallway, okay? Think about what you've said. This is Lou Glutz. Lou Glutz. There we go. Eugene Levy's obviously Lou Glutz. But I'm also getting a little nitpicky here. Upon rewatching this film this time, I used to watch it every year, but I'd say for the last few years, haven't given it a good watch. I really noticed that even though they're traveling across America, 99% of this film is shot in California. I really noticed how much is California. Even here, not sure if I can find a clip. If we get a right camera angle, they're supposed to be in Chicago, but at points you can clearly see palm trees in the background. So I'm like, oh man, this is California. They're just going California to California. And I noticed a lot more palm trees in various scenes in this movie when they're supposed to be like in the Great Plains in the background. I'm like, nope, no palm trees there. And of course, a lot of the California aesthetic. Even some mountains in the background back there, I believe. So Eddie Clark comes back home. And again, how times have changed. Clark is the average working American family man, yet he lives in a goddamn mansion. I'm probably older than he is now in this film, and I'm still renting a tiny apartment with 2 kids. So how that has changed. Yes, times have changed. I will say for this generation, it will definitely be for the current generations, not for our generation now. It's a lot harder now to relate to Clark as the everyman, and a lot of these characters now living in such beautiful homes, single detached mansions. Already have my hallway pass in hand. Excellent. Yes. Now that doesn't mean you can roam the hallways. All right. And so many little like background gags. What makes these films, and I think this is what's lost a lot of comedies these days, is a lot of comedies these days either rely just on simple like in-your-face swearing, or these overly long, overly played out set pieces, like the remake to Vacation, which was a complete disaster. Had a good cast, but it just wasn't funny because things were trying too hard and too on the nose. Like, compare the car in this, the family truckster. It's ugly as hell. It's a terrible car, but you still believe it as a real car that could be made. It was just a little exaggerated just enough of styles at the time with the wood paneling and like the bizarre headlights, but you could still see it as a car that exists compared to the remake where it's like this goofy Swedish car or something where it's like the seat comes out and extends over. It's like, well, why would any car ever have that? It made absolutely no sense, and then you lose the humor in that. But in here, like even in this scene here, they're talking. And they're obviously doing the dishes together. And Beverly D'Angelo is only scraping the plates. She's not rinsing them or washing them or anything. And she hands them to Clark to be washed. But he's not washing them. He just wipes them as if he's drying them and puts them in the cupboard. And that's funny. It's like, it's such a background gag that you won't even notice until maybe the second, third, or fourth time you watch this film. But it's funny. It's like, that's how you do comedy. Just little background gags everywhere. Oh, I love this too. The computer. Here we go. Google Maps version 1.0. Oh, sorry. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, planning the family trip on the computer. I don't know how much that helps, but again, makes for a good gag. This is a fantastic gag too. The luggage is all packed up. Time to leave, and boom. This is probably one of the only shots that actually isn't done in California. As they're leaving, driving past the Chicago skyline. And the family's out. People are in high spirits as they start, just like any family trip. And again, this is what's so great about this film too, is as a kid you can relate, because my family, we went on family trips every summer as well. And we always do the struggles on family trips. My dad actually pulled a Clark Griswold of his own, and we're out in the prairies, middle of Saskatchewan, and we're leaving a little tiny town. And my dad left his wallet on top of the roof of the car. We drive about 200 kilometers to our next destination, which is like 130, 150 miles. And that's where we realize that we don't have any money. So we had to get my grandma to wire us in some money. The wallet was actually eventually found somehow on the side of the highway in the middle of Saskatchewan. Just amazing. But of course, that wasn't returned until like a month later because someone found it, brought the local police. And then, of course, eventually they mail it back to you. But yeah, that was quite interesting. My mom wasn't too thrilled about that, of course. Yes, a very Chevy Chase kind of thing, the dishes thing. Yes, it is. It's just such a beautiful joke. I love it. It's almost going to call it a texture joke. It's like adding texture to the film. So it's a texturized joke. And yes, I see most current comedy as just yes, it's just physician. Yes, it's the word that comes. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna have a problem pronouncing this word now. I know this word. I'm reading this word. Fastidious. Yes. Yeah, fastidious. Oh my goodness. Now I'm pulling a Rich Evans. Never mind. Moving on. More tiresome than anything. Yes. Yeah, it's always like really loud and in your face, and more often not mean spirited. And I'm not against mean spirited comedy. Mean spirited can work, but it has to be delivered like Lewis Black. Lewis Black can deliver mean spirited comedy like nobody else. Ronnie Dangerfield can deliver mean spirited comedy. It has to be done by the right person. But when everyone does it, there's a lot of people that can't pull it off. And yeah, it's just tiresome. Yeah. And yes, contemporary SNL, not Chevy's SNL. That was the good times. Yeah. Yes, she's dropping the tongue twisters. Yes, remember, it is only 6:30 in the morning here, and I'm still tired. So, yes. Embarrassing myself here, but that's what these live broadcasts are for, is it not? And of course, this is probably the first damage the family truckster. This is probably the first damage inflicted on the family truckster here. Clark tried to find the gas tank, and again, that's funny. It's not too over the top. It's a weird car. The gas tank's in the front, but it's again believable. I think it just would have been so much fun putting this car together in like the prop team. I think they made a few versions of it too. I really hope one is still alive. We're in St. Louis here. This is probably one of the more controversial scenes these days where they're driving through the hood. And this is also where I brought up the different edits with this guy here. Yeah. He says, "Who do I look like? Christopher Columbo?" on the TV edit. And I actually like that one better instead of just F your mama. Actually, a little trivia here. So John Hughes actually wrote this as a short story long before it became a movie script. And the original version, the similar sequence to this was actually them driving through a native reserve, First Nations reserve. And I think they actually toned that down from that original concept to this at that time in order to make it more I don't want to say PC, but yeah, maybe make it more PC for the time that this film was made. But of course, now things have changed again, and maybe this sequence won't be looked upon so fondly. But that is a beautiful shot of the car there. My goodness, and I love this because they take the hubcaps, those beautiful hubcaps with the crown on them. That would just be a wonderful souvenir, eh? To have one of the hubcaps from this car. If you're a prop collector, having any piece of these cars, the emblem on the front, the hubcaps, that would be just amazing. Or the emblem on the side there. Love the crown. Now talking about the difference between viewing this as a kid to now, is there are three things that I really didn't understand at the time as a kid that I understand now. This is one of them. where Clark is is reminiscing about the time that that she gave him Roadhead, and then her head getting stuck under the steering wheel here as she's just putting her head on his lap, and the kids in the back assuming that's what's going on now. So yes, rewatching this as an adult, yes, is a little different. And that's also something that's interesting is in comedies and stuff, it's okay for kids to watch, like, I want to say like PG-13, even sometimes, I believe this has had an R rating, comedies, is because these sequences just go right over the top of a kid's head. Like, you don't know what they're talking about. You have no idea. Parents can laugh at it, but as a kid, you don't know what's going on. You just think it's funny that her head's stuck under the steering wheel. So there's no damage done there. And then when you're older, you get to laugh at it again when you realize what it's really insinuating. Like when he blows kisses through the picnic sandwich, he just goofs and things land right in the oddball zone. Yes, I know. He's rubbing the sandwich on his face, and it's so awesome trying to be sexy. It's so great. That's all he's got to work with. It's the sandwiches from the gas station. Like flies like a frisbee. Yes. The license plate. Yes. I love it. It's like all the props on the car are just absolutely fantastic. DJ Play Dice. Yes. So perfectly done. Then two more sequences that I didn't realize until I was older was when Rusty, when they're at obviously Cousin Eddie's. They're talking about looking at skin magazines, and Cousin Eddie's son says, "Don't worry, you can borrow it, you can use it." And that's when Rusty asks, "How do you use a magazine?" And then he says, "Well, you've never popped your baloney." And then later in the movie, when they're in the desert, Rusty tells Clark that he's only been a man for a couple days. So, all right, we know what he discovered. That never hit me as a kid, but now, trust me, now I really understand that. So another good sequence, and probably the third one that I didn't understand as a kid, which I totally get now, is everything to do with the weed. So of course, Cousin Eddie's daughter has the big box of bud, and after that, for the rest of the film, Audrey, she's acting high. She's acting high, and I believe she's got the glasses on to hide the red eye a little bit. So any joke to do with weed afterwards was right over my head first time I watched this as a kid, but now I get it. So there's so much more to explore and enjoy as you get older. There we go. There's the steering wheel. And here, one of the best gags in the film, again, is Clark falling asleep at the wheel, driving through town and ending right up at the hotel. And we're going to skip ahead a few minutes here because there is Beverly D'Angelo's beautiful, wonderful rack coming up. And we can't show that on TV. But we're now in the old West town. Another great sequence. Clark telling this guy off, "Hey, underpants." And with the fake prop gun, gets blown away, which I gotta say, it's pretty risky these days. Clark would have pulled the gun right back on him if this were 2024. And of course, this is when things, are still going pretty good for the family. They meet Cousin Eddie. Again, just absolutely wonderful performance, all-time classic comedy character now, Cousin Eddie. Who doesn't love Cousin Eddie? And I got to say, what's gotten depressing these days is I've started to realize that I'm the Cousin Eddie of my family. My sister owns a nice house. My brother owns a house, going to be buying an even nicer house. And I'm the one still renting. Oh, boy. I've become Cousin Eddie. I got to bring the family over and get some free grub, right? There we go. There's a scene where he learns how to use a magazine. Not even hamburgers, just hamburger helper. And Aunt Edna. We actually, in my family, we had our own Aunt Edna. It's amazing just how similar they are. And I think every family has an Aunt Edna as well. Just that old battle axe that comes along. And just everything is just a cutting remark, just cutting you down, cutting you down. Just wonderful classic character. And the shoes, absolutely beautiful. I know in the movie these shoes are supposed to be terrible, but I'm not lying. I would actually love to have a pair of shoes like that. I think it would be great to have those shoes. And if you agree, please let me know. I want you to know what you think about those shoes. Yeah, the takeaway weed she gives Audrey when they're leaving is amusing too. Yes, and they got the giggles as well. So you can tell that they're this high. And as a kid, just right over your head. But now, you know all about it. And going. Oh, there we go. Here's the sandwich scene. Yes. Just beautiful. I don't know what. What. You know what? I think I see what she sees in Clark. As a handsome man. And the sandwiches. And then we're entering the mountains now. Yes, at Camp Comfort. Supposed to be in Colorado. Here we go. There's Bill Murray's brother. And I know he's just known as Bill Murray's brother, but actually I like him a lot. Of course, Caddyshack. Great performance in Caddyshack. I love him as the boss in Christmas Vacation. He's got lots of great roles under his belt as well. Obviously, he's no Bill Murray, but few are. But I think he's done his own wonderful career too. It's absolutely disgusting camp. and again, another scene here when I didn't quite get. I think as a kid I knew what was going on here, but the little lines that Clark says, where she's saying, "I think it's a bear," and Clark saying he's the bear, and you know. He's insinuating that he's about the climax. Those specific details were lost on me. But in this scene, I definitely had understood the general basics of what they were doing in the sleeping bag. This is the most tragic scene in the movie. Clark tying the dog to the bumper. R.I.P. Dinky. Oh my God. Again, every minor character in this film is fantastic, and this is what also makes a strong road trip comedy. It's not just a great main cast; it's just everyone that appears brings a good flavor. And again, this cop, not too over the top, still believable, but still a fun character and a well delivered scene. Do you know what the penalty of animal abuse is in this state? It's probably pretty bad. I love that the cop himself doesn't know what the penalty is. Yeah, just great comedy, great writing, and great expressions. There's a little montage coming later up. Just again, Chevy Chase, comedic master. His facial expressions throughout this film are just fantastic. Aunt Edna's look as she shrugs off the dog piss sandwiches and keeps eating as a fave. Yes. This digs right in. I love that. Oh, yeah. And it's Brian Doyle Murray. Oh, yeah. Of course, he plays alongside with Bill Murray in Groundhog Day as well as the city's mayor. He's great. I love him. So things just keep getting worse for the Griswolds. I'll take it. New car. Just smashes the window. Oh, look at you, Clark. You got an embarrassment of riches there. My goodness. And you just know he was doing so much coke. They probably all were. Maybe hopefully not the kids, but you just know 1982, 1983 filming. There was a lot of coke going around on these sets. Harold Ramis, yes. Oh my God. This is legitimate, just an amazing action sequence, a beautiful jump. The poor family truckster. And again, all the little details here, how Aunt Edna's hat has been ripped. I think also everyone's in the front seat. Clark's glasses slowly falling off piece by piece. Just all these little comedic details just to sell the sequence. And there we go. There's the man-to-man talk, which is probably maybe one of the best coming-of-age sequences ever filmed in cinema. This is a coming-of-age story with Rusty and Audrey. Absolutely beautiful. Clark's bizarre decision to go find a gas station out in the desert. Oh, and even these guys. The city sheriff and mechanic. It's just beautiful. Yes, exactly. In Groundhog Day, the cop character was played by James Keach. I just wanted to look that up. Yeah, no, thank you. Yeah. So James Keach, yeah, he was good. That was a great little, cameo character. Brian always was the club. Yes. He was the club manager in Caddyshack. Yeah, that was a great role for him as well. Again. If Eddie Murray, stop saying Eddie Murphy, if Bill Murray didn't exist and only Brian Doyle Murray existed, I think Brian Doyle Murray would have been bigger because he's great. He's great. But it's all a lot of talent in that family. My goodness. Man, the 80s, just thinking about it now, just the wealth of comedians, the wealth of comedy in the 80s was just ridiculous. You had Chevy Chase, you had Eddie Murphy, you had John Candy, you had Bill Murray, you have all these just these giants of comedy, and of course back then we also had See No Evil, Hear No Evil. Oh, my mind's of course going to draw blanks on names right now, but just so many brilliant comedians at the time, and we were spoiled. But the good thing is there's still so many to discover that I haven't even seen from that era. So I'm not going to complain. There's still a lot in that well to dip into. Oh, and then this part here, that guy's such an asshole. But again, just played so well. The clerk here, such a dick. And Aunt Edna, there she is, dead in the back. Belushi. Yes, Belushi was another classic. Yes. Of course. Oh, the motorcycle cop is Stacy Keach's brother or same family. Oh my goodness, with a last name like that, I would not be surprised if that's true. But it's not a common last name. Let's just say that. Brian has a more subtle, reserved comedy spirit. Yes, I agree. Yeah. Yes, he does. He does Giswold very well as well. He lives in the shadow of Bill Murray, but he is great on his own. Yes, 100%. Yeah, he's reserved. He's Giswold. He does like the management, the overbearing boss. He does those characters perfectly. You know what he should play? He should play the president in a film. He would be perfect for playing the president. Please, William Shakespeare, has he ever played the role as the president? I need to know this because that would be so perfect for him. And the biggest laugh out moment for my family was this right here. This is the number one gag in the whole film. Just Aunt Edna on the roof because no one wants to ride in the car with a dead person. It's pissing out rain in Phoenix of all places. She's just got like the blanket or tarp over her there. Oh, and just driving around town. And I still remember watching this movie with my grandparents and them always saying, "You're not going to do that to us, are you?" If we die on vacation. So we're not going to strap them to the roof. And then I think it's cousin Normie here and just leaving his dead mother in the lawn chair out outside. This is so perfect. And of course, this is when we get the dramatic heart of the film. Everyone wants to go home. That's what's also great about these comedies is the plot lines also work. There's solid plot lines, and they have these just dramatic enough moments to keep you engaged and to have a proper story structure. Again, they're grounded just enough. They're wacky, they're fun, it's crazy, but they also just have that little heart that's grounded that just works so well. And then they get angry, they fight, and then Clark has his date with Destiny, and my God, that's a gorgeous woman. Wow. IMDb confirms, yes, he is brother to Stacy Keach. Oh my goodness. Well, there we go. And right now, William Shakespeare is checking for me to see if he ever played the president, which is like honestly a role that I can't believe he hasn't been cast in. If he hasn't, just like now I know I'm living in Japan, and I don't want to say the term, but my whole life I have been suffering of a certain fever. It's a and it's named after a very bright color, a very nice color. But she is absolutely beautiful, and I wouldn't kick her out of bed for eating crackers, as my dad would say. Now, there is another flash of Beverly D'Angelo's boobs coming up here, so I got to be careful. After Clark has his little rendezvous in the pool here. This is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy. I'm in deep. I just love him talking to himself, just knowing how much trouble he's in. Then we finally get the adventure to Wally World. And I just love the completely empty parking lot. Like, first one's here. Like, no one's clued in that something's wrong here. There's not even an employee in the parking lot. Great expressions. And this is when Clark goes off the deep end. And we get introduced to my favorite cameo of all, John Candy. So there we are. John Candy's such... Hell yeah, I know, huh? Oh, God. Starts with an A and ends with an N, maybe? Yes. I know, and this is a worldwide affliction. It's just... I don't know what it is, but for some reason, men just seem to love very fine, feminine features on women. And there's one region of the world that seems to excel in those. Oh, my goodness. R.I.P. John Candy, I know. He is missed. He died. He was taken from us way too soon. I've never even seen the final movie he was in that I think it's called like Wagons East. I've never seen it. I don't know. And it was just kind of a weird thing because I didn't like the fact that that's the movie he passed away on. And as a kid, that hit me really hard. And I think that's the only John Candy feature I've never watched. Maybe I should get round to it one of these days. Yes, and thank you very much. Yes, the punching the moose in the nose still makes me laugh. That was my number 2 gag. So number 1, Ant on the Roof. Number 2, punching Marty Moose in the nose. As a kid, I laughed so hard on that. Just boom. And you can hear he's like screwed up the recording inside. Oh, just wonderful. Just Beverly Angel. Clark. Like, she's so tired of it. So tired of Clark. And Petite. Yes, DJ Play Nice. How can I forget Petite? Yes. I think at gunpoint taking the family just to ride some rides. And they still got the tag hanging off the gun. Like, again, just perfect. That poor security guard leaves him laying on the ground. He doesn't get to come on the rides. Another little pet peeve. It's midsummer, yet it's obviously winter here, or at least early spring. Those are some leafless trees there. I'm taking notes on this, all right? That's one of my pet peeves there. Get to ride the rides, John Candy. Rusty, may I call you Russ? I had a bad experience on this ride once. What happened? I threw up. This is so great. On the pirate ship, classic ride. And actually, it's kind of interesting, like the same ending as Christmas Vacation, where you get the whole SWAT team involved. Quite the family life here. And here you can see this. You can also tell that this theme park is filmed at definitely at least 2 different locations, or at least at 2 different seasons. I'm guessing there must have been a little bit of stock footage involved. The whippersnapper, a lot of fun. And then we get Roy Wally coming up, who is a perfect Walt Disney stand-in. Just absolutely perfect. Oh my goodness, now there is a sequel All right. It's Wally World, but now it's run just like Disney. They have their own Kathleen Kennedy. Oh my goodness, that would be an amazing sequel. The Demise of Wally World. Marty Moose. And in the end, everybody's happy. And we get some nice pictures. And I love this. This is almost like a Marvel-esque style gag at the end. I really hope you've watched the credits to the end, because we know the family truckster got a beating going across the country. And the best thing is the last picture on the credits is them flying back to Chicago. There we go. Of course it won't stop. So the family truckster is no more. There we go. So the family flying back. Rest in peace, family truckster. Which makes me realize I always felt like Candy let his SCTV come through in this role. Yes, SCTV, classic Canadian show. Yeah. What is it that Candy says about throwing up? Yes, I had a bad experience on this ride once. I threw up. Yeah. Okay, unfortunately, it doesn't appear that Brian Doyle Murray has ever portrayed the president. The world's lost out on that one, I say. There's still time. Yes, call him up. William Shakespeare, call him up. We'll get him on the horn. I got about $50 to make a movie. Let's do this. All right, now it's time for my favorite time, and I hope your favorite time as well. But the memoriam for Vacation.
Has your father ever killed anyone before?
Oh, just a dog. Oh, and my Aunt Edna.
Hey, underpants. Hey, yellow. Okay, I'm okay.
Oh, God. The dog went on the picnic basket.
Rusty, please do not eat the truckster.
You may think you hate it now, honey, but what are you driving?
Hey, man, let's go! Like, share, subscribe.
Did you hear that?
Yes. Rest in peace to all those fine souls that gave their lives for Clark's trip across America. Thank you, DJ Play Nice. Thank you very much. Yes. Those are always fun putting together. Man, I hope there's a making of that last car jump scene somewhere. Yes, I know, that's amazing. That's just a beautiful, beautiful jump. It's just wonderful. And I got one more treat ready here. Is Chevy Chase's expressions. I absolutely love his expressions in this film.
Poor little guy. Probably kept up with you for a mile or so. Tough little mutt.
It's so great. Just pretending to be sad. Such a brilliant comedian.
I need a family. I know that smell. I know that smell.
Just every facial expression is wonderful. And of course, the first one there, I think he had a lot of experience with. You know what I'm saying? It was the 80s, baby. But wonderful film. My official rating would be 10 out of 10. This is a rare 10 out of 10 for me. It's just the perfect road trip comedy. Still the best road trip comedy ever made. And again, it just had that perfect storm of Harold Ramis, John Hughes, Chevy Chase, and then Beverly D'Angelo, and every cameo appearance. And it just worked together perfectly, made in the perfect era of comedy. Yes. All right. Well, I do have one last little surprise here. I recently discovered, as I said, I always like to bring up a good, bad movie. And recently I discovered this film here called Young Rebels. Now, if you don't know this film, I don't blame you. This is from the maker of Samurai Cop and Hollywood Cop, Amir Sherivan. So this was like one of his long lost films. But it's been found at least maybe a year or so ago, a couple years ago. But it finally grabbed my attention, and I will be watching and reviewing it in the near future. So please stay tuned to that. All right. Oh, we got some trivia fact here. Thank you, William. Chevy Chase only worked on the very first season of SNL. Really? He thought the show wasn't going to go anywhere, so he left and launched his film career. Damn. Good for him. Is that Roddy Piper? Yes, let's take a look again. Let's go back there. Is that Roddy Piper? All right. Yeah, it's a Roddy Pipe down. Oh my goodness, but yeah, I think that will be his lesser equivalent. But who is in Young Rebels is Robert Z'Dar. Yes, and if you don't know who Robert Z'Dar is, you should get on that. He is a classic B cinema action star. He's got probably the world's biggest chin. He does look like AI attempting to make a human face, but that is his real face. The man is more monster than human. Unfortunately, he's passed away, but he is great. He's in all of Amir Sherivan's films, Samurai Cop, Killing American Style, Hollywood Cop. Is he in Hollywood Cop? Yes, I believe he is. And of course, apparently in Young Rebels here, which I can't wait to watch. Apparently it is on YouTube. So here is the lineup for the rest of the summer. So today is August 3rd for you guys, August 4th for me, almost 7 a.m. in the morning here in Japan. So vacation. Next will be The Great Outdoors, and on August 17th. And then on August 31st, we got What About Bob? So a trio of summer holiday classics, Natsu Yasumi, a veritable who's who of who and way too. Yes. Yeah, you talk about an all-star cast. The Young Rebels doesn't got it. Yes. Young Rebels looks like a great Saturday night B-movie guilty pleasure. It needs plenty of beer. Yes, I agree 100%. In fact, while I got you guys here, William Shakespeare, I'm going to give you a quick sneak peek of it. So I got a little clip here. Apparently it is the end, though. I tried to find a trailer, but it's hard to find a trailer for it. I wonder why, huh? There's a mystery. All right. So just to give you a little taste. Oh, my God. Punch that door down. It's already so awkward.
I've been waiting for this for a long time. I'm going to get you. Son of a bitch.
There we go. There's Roddy pipe down.
You're going to pay for what you've done.
Oh my God. That is not the same location. I love the close-up insert shots are a completely different location. Oh, they don't make them like they used to. Oh, only do Foley when absolutely necessary.
I'm gonna get you.
The complete change in color temperature is also just absolutely beautiful. We go from almost this matrix green to the warm hues there of the wood. Oh my God. Never in the history of cinema has there been a more epic battle. This is on the scale. Ooh, who's in the picture there on the side? Someone likes pinups. Oh, put you on the bed. All right, swing your fist towards the camera, but not too close. Oh, gut punch. Get in the bizarre pool.
You son of a bitch! I'm gonna get you, son of a bitch!
Oh God, that man bit down on a rather juicy tomato. And cut. Missed him by a mile. Yeah, I know. That's some fancy fist work there. It would be funny as hell to watch this film dubbed in some other language. Judging by the dialogue in that one clip, it pretty much is already. All right. Well, I still have a chance to go back to bed and maybe get a few Z's before the kids get moving around. So that was episode 14 of Brewing Film Live Vacation. I just want to thank everyone for joining in. William Shakespeare, DJ Play Nice, thanks for being so active on the chat. I really appreciate that. Thanks for doing the research there and keeping me company here. Just want to thank everybody who showed up. Of course, Cannoli Sasquatch as well. Thank you very much. So next one will be in 2 weeks, and we will be talking The Great Outdoors, which is a John Candy classic. So DJ Play Nice, William Shakespeare, I hope you're there again. All right. Thank you very much. No, I love your abuse. And I'm looking forward to having you on the show at the end of the month as well. That's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you, DJ Play Nice. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yes, and you guys have a great evening as well. I got the whole Sunday ahead of me, and I can tell you from the future, it's hot. That's pretty much all I can say. All right. So that's all from my official studios today. Have a good one, and cheers.
Like, share, subscribe.
Did you hear that?